Hey, welcome everyone. Welcome. It's April 28th. It's a Friday. Fact Check Friday. My name's Tom Coffee. This is the Coffee and Nuance Show. And remember, we're always streaming live on Rumble, rumble.com/coffeeandnuance/live, as well as the YouTube. But today, I want to talk about good enough is good enough. So here I am, the guy is good enough at finding stories and sharing some insight, but I'm never perfect. Today I want to talk about something we all struggle with, the pressure to be perfect. But let me tell you, perfection, it's overrated. It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack while blindfolded, with one arm tied behind your back. Oh, you could do it. It's just not worth it most of the time. Let's start with our homes. We want to live in a perfect home. But who has time for that? I mean, have you seen my place? Looks like a thrift store and a dumpster had a baby, but you know, it's good enough. My pit bull doesn't seem to mind, and I'm working on it. And then there's our appearances, right? We all want to look perfect, but let's face it, we're not the Kardashians. And they aren't either. With all the makeup and Photoshop and filters. Being good enough is like being valedictorian at a community college. It still counts. Let's not forget about our jobs. We all want to be CEO. Sometimes being the assistant to the assistant is good enough. I mean, at least you don't have to make any big decisions or attend boring meetings. You can just sit at your desk and watch some guy in an Aloha shirt read the news. In conclusion, let's all take a deep breath and embrace the idea that good enough is often the best most of the time. It's like a participation trophy, but for life. So go ahead, choose your battles. And if it's not that important to you, just be imperfect. Just be your own lovable self. Thanks for joining me, folks. And remember, good enough is the new perfect. My name's Tom Coffee. This is the Coffee Nuance Show, the best censored commentary and news show live right now. Flame on. Serious echo. Let's see if I can fix that. What did I do? Serious echo. Okay. Again, every day, it's not perfect. Man, I don't know what I did, but I think the echo is gone. Let's see if I can test it. I don't know. What can I do? Oh, I know. Okay. Maybe that's it. Yikes. Okay. Looks like it's fixed. Okay. Yeah, not being perfect. That's the theme today. And the reason this came up is I took a class. I took one of these online classes from a famous reggaeton producer named Tiny. He's one of the hottest reggaeton music producers in the world. He produces for Bad Bunny and lots of other artists. And hang on just a second here. Okay, let's try that. Okay, and so he's one of the biggest producers in the world. Just makes an insane amount of money, and everyone wants him to produce their music. Well, I watched this course that he did on making a reggaeton track, And in it, he was just, everything was, it's good enough. So he would lay down a little beat, listen to it, adjust a few things, and goes, it's good enough. And then he'd move on to the next part. Let's put in some, let's put in some synths over the top or some strings or what, he's just building music. But each time he was doing it, he would listen to it, he'd go, it's good enough. And he would move on. And at the end, within an hour, he had a complete song that was done, and it sounded fantastic. And I think if that's his attitude, he's able to just keep cranking things out. He doesn't have to be perfect. It's clear he doesn't care about being perfect. He just cares about, getting it done. So he's not worried about it. And if he's not worried about it and he's the hottest producer in the world, well, why? If I'm trying to make music, why should I worry about it either? I shouldn't. And I think that carries over into, everything that we got going on in our lives. One thing that I have noticed on, when you're going through Instagram and stuff, some people, you never even get to see what they really look like because they always have a filter on. It's really kind of weird. It's kind of weird. But I'm not against filters, but just embrace who you are. You can always put your best foot forward, but still, you don't have to be perfect. And I guess that's the big thing I wanted to talk about today. We have lots of stories to get to, including a fact check that I want to run by you, see what you think of it. So, yeah, let's get to something really scary now. Ukraine tried to assassinate Putin using a drone loaded with explosives that crashed just miles from an industrial estate when Putin was due to visit near Moscow. So this is from the German newspaper Bild. And they've claimed that Ukrainian Secret Service agents launched a kamikaze drone carrying 17 kilograms of C4 plastic explosives toward a newly built industrial estate near Moscow with the aim of assassinating Vladimir Putin, who was due to visit the site. The drone reportedly crashed a few miles short of the industrial estate. Bild cited a tweet by a Ukrainian activist who has close ties to Kyiv's intelligence services, in which he alleges that Ukrainian agents received information about Putin's visit to the industrial site and decided to launch the deadly drone. Kyiv has not yet commented on the report. Putin is said to be paranoid about his safety and fearful of assassination attempts since his invasion of Ukraine, and has previously claimed he's escaped numerous assassination attempts. Well, I don't know about the source of this. They got this information from a tweet. Not sure how reliable that is, but then again, what do we know, really? Das Bild in the German paper has a very good reputation, so I'll give them the benefit of the doubt on this one. But what if this is true? What if this is true? What would be the proper thing if someone tries to assassinate you as a world leader? Why don't you ask what Saddam Hussein, when he apparently tried to take out George Bush Sr., when W took office, he got his revenge, right? I would guess that if this actually were an assassination attempt on Putin, I guess now it's all free reign, right? I guess this gives permission for Russia to just bomb Kyiv, take out Zelensky. I don't know. What's good for one is good for the other. I don't think this is a good escalation in war, and I think escalation in war, especially when one of them is a nuclear power, Really bad idea. Really bad idea. But then again, I don't seem impressed with the leadership in Ukraine or our own country at this time about this particular conflict. So what do you think? Do you think that will get escalated if they tried to assassinate Putin? A drone all the way to almost Moscow? Kind of opens the door for retaliation. So, I don't know. What do you think about that? And next we got something new and exciting that I've been talking about just recently. Okay. YouTube Music has officially added podcasts to its platform in the United States on Android, iOS, and the web. The update allows users to continue listening to podcasts on YouTube Music after watching them on the main app. The feature is available to all users whether they have a YouTube Premium subscription or not. The podcast listening experience complements the podcast video experience on YouTube, and users can listen to podcasts on demand, offline, in the background, and while casting. The YouTube plans to bring podcasts to users outside the United States soon. The YouTube Music Home tab now includes a new Podcasts tab that takes you to dedicated feed that displays your favorite podcasts and recommended episodes. So I've been talking about this. You know, I got an email from YouTube saying they were doing a podcast, and so I have here we are today. This is episode 15 of the Coffee and Nuance podcast. So I have been posting them on the podcast area as well. And so now you can check this out. You don't have to just go specifically on regular YouTube. You can be on the YouTube Music app or Music tab and find podcasts that way. And that way you can listen to this if you want to torture yourself or whatever while you're driving or whatever. I don't know. I guess this is a big deal. Perhaps new people will find the show. Maybe. I don't know. We'll just have to see. Again, I just wanted to try something new to see if it made a difference. Probably won't, but fingers crossed. Have you been listening to any podcasts on YouTube? Not just the regular video, but gone over to the music section and clicked on podcasts. If you have, what's been your experience like? I need to check that out for myself. And next, more news. James Corden's final episode of The Late Late Show had an unconventional start, as he was locked out of the studio and had to deliver his monologue from the stairwell of CBS Television City. Yeah, good stunt. Corden received well wishes from Joe Biden, who called Corden his pal and thanked him for bringing joy to homes across America. Late night hosts Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, Seth Meyers, Stephen Colbert, and David Letterman also paid tribute to Corden, asking him not to reveal their secrets as a condition of his exit. Corden's guests were Harry Styles and Will Ferrell, who helped him smash the set and reminisce about the show's funniest moments. So is this a show that anybody watched? I'm familiar with, he did the carpool karaoke, I guess was one of the big sketches that he would do. I didn't watch the show. I didn't find this guy particularly funny, but it's, to me, it's because they've really wrapped up a lot of political stuff in late night comedy, and now I don't find any of it really funny. I want my late night comedy to just be funny and not push anything, I don't mind talking about the news, about talking about politics, but it's when it gets real preachy I don't want preachy stuff from my late night comedians, and I got a little of that vibe from James, but whatever. I wish him well. I know that he had fans, and they're going to miss him, and he's on to better things. So that's it. I don't have any other real experiences about the James Corden show. I didn't really watch it, but he was on, I think, much longer than I ever expected him to be on that show. So yeah, there's that. But now it's a Friday. It's a Fact Check Friday. Let's get to it. Here we go. ABC News admitted to editing statements made by Robert F. Kennedy Jr. about the COVID-19 vaccine in an exclusive interview. The anchor, Lindsay Davis, made a disclaimer when the interview aired, stating that Kennedy had made false and misleading claims about the vaccine and its relationship to autism. This comes amid a challenge from Kennedy to President Biden in the Democratic primaries, where he has garnered 19% support. So this is the fact check idea that I want to talk about today. They did an interview with RFK Jr., and I watched it. I thought it was an okay interview. I didn't care for the demeanor of the host interviewing. I thought she was rather rude sometimes, and for no reason. But it is what it is. But at the end, this is what happened, and I just want to play it for you. So let's see if I can get that. No. Okay, let's see if I can play this here.
Compromising the values of this country that's keeping us in a constant state of war. And that is creating a nation that doesn't resemble the nation that, we all love, which is a nation with a handful of billionaires and widespread poverty, in which democracy does not have a prayer of continuing. And let's try to take a new path.
We're almost there.
That will allow us to give our children a country that is, once again, a moral authority around the globe, an exemplary nation, and that has a booming middle class in this country that can sustain democracy.
We should note that during our conversation, Kennedy made false claims about the COVID-19 vaccines. Data shows that the COVID-19 vaccines prevented millions of hospitalizations and deaths from the disease. He also made misleading claims about the relationship between vaccination and autism. Research shows that vaccines and the ingredients used for the vaccines do not cause autism, including multiple studies involving more than 1 million children, and major medical associations like the American Academy of Pediatrics and the advocacy group Autism Speaks. We've used our editorial judgment in not including extended portions of that exchange in our interview. We thank Mr. Kennedy for the conversation.
Hi, everyone. George.
Okay. And so I find this very interesting because I would like to fact check exactly what RFK Jr. said. Did he just make the claim that vaccines cause autism? Was that the claim that he said? Because I don't think that's what he said. Did he make the claim that that he was saying some misinformation about COVID-19? Well, I would never say any misinformation about COVID-19 because I'm on this platform. And I know that it cannot be questioned. And I fully agree with all the government talking points on the COVID vaccine, right? But how are you supposed to fact check this? What ABC News has done is they're telling you what RFK Jr. said, but they're not showing you what he said. And I don't know about you, but I don't trust them. I don't know that the way that they're presenting it is accurate. Do you? Well, there's one way that we could know if this was accurate or not, and that would be if ABC News actually played what RFK Jr. said, and then if they wanted to jump in with their disclaimer and say that it's not true and say that it's not supported by science or whatever, that's fine. That's fine. But what's unacceptable is to make a claim. You're saying, oh, this person said this thing. Oh, and we have it on video, but we're not going to show it to you, and we're just going to tell you what they said. But we're not going to quote it directly. We're just going to summarize what they said in the way that we best see fit. Does that seem legitimate to you? Because it doesn't seem legitimate to me. If he said something that was that crazy, let's see that quote so that we can all point and say, oh my goodness, I can't believe he said that. But they're not showing us that evidence. What's going on? I don't think I've ever seen this before, that the media has done this. What ABC News did is something that is crazy. Yes, they exercise their editorial discretion. Okay, but I want to know what he said. Don't tell me what he said unless you give me a direct quote. We're not getting a direct quote. It's crazy. That's why it is important for all people, if you go get an interview, if you have an interview, if you have any suspicion whatsoever that they are going to edit you and mislead people about what you said, you're going to have to get a copy of that interview too. I would have an assistant stand in the back with their phone and just record the interview so that you have evidence of what you said. Because if they're going to do this stuff, right? I can't even fact check this. I can't fact check what he said because they haven't said what he said. It's crazy. I agree with the words that I heard him say, such as, I don't believe we should be the party of war. I don't believe we should be the party of Wall Street. I don't believe we should let neocons dictate our foreign policy. And I don't believe in censorship. I agree with all of that. I don't agree with censorship either. But ABC apparently does. They've decided that you can't handle what he said. And so they're just summarizing what he said in their opinion. This is journalistic malpractice as far as I'm concerned. This is ridiculous. And I can't even fact check what he said because we don't have the source material. Crazy. And so that's what I want you to be aware of today is this is an example of the media telling you stuff. It reminds me of, was it Chris Cuomo when he said that we can look at the emails, right? I think this was like the DNC emails. We can look at the emails, but you can't. You need to come to us, and we'll tell you what they say. Yeah, this is another case of that. So this is ridiculous. I wouldn't have expected this. I would expect it from NBC, but ABC? Oh, wow. Anyway, I guess it's time for some good news. All righty. In a heartwarming story, a woman named Lucy Humphrey, who was given just 5 years to live after being diagnosed with kidney disease, has found a perfect match in a total stranger. Doctors had told her the odds of finding a donor were 1 in 22 million. But Lucy's chance encounter at a Welsh beach with a woman named Katie James changed everything. After bonding over a barbecue, Lucy mentioned that she was on dialysis, and Katie revealed that she'd recently joined the kidney donation register. Tests showed that Katie was the perfect match, and the transplant took place in October 2022. Lucy and her partner have remained friends with Katie, and they even have a group chat called the Kidney Gang. The heartwarming story serves as a reminder of the power of human kindness and the importance of organ donation. And what was really cute about this story is apparently they were out at the beach, and their dog kept running over to this lady and wouldn't leave her alone. And maybe she smelled that she was a good partner or whatever. But they said it was really weird. Their dog never behaved this way, but the dog kept going over and bothering this other lady. And so they went over and talked to her and met her and, you know, had a good conversation. And one thing led to another, and then she donated her kidney. This seems like an incredible story, something they could make a movie about, doesn't it? It really does sound too good to be true, you know? But I guess I'm not gonna fact check this story. I don't want to get into it and find out they embellished the story a little bit, so we can just leave it as a nice story. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. Stick around in the after show. I'll be going through your comments, and yeah, that's it. I do have something for next week. Guy made a video, and I'm going to present it on this channel. And he made a video about central bank digital currency. He lives over in Europe. And so he put together a video that I'll be sharing with you next week. I think that's going to be really exciting. And yeah, lastly, I hope you have a beautiful Friday afternoon, a great weekend. Go out there, have some fun, and I will see you in the after show. Have a beautiful day. Peace. All right, thanks for sticking around. Again, I got to work on the all right. I keep saying all right. Oh, what's your verbal tick? Over on Rumble, we got some people. Thanks for joining us today. Apothecary John's over there saying, what's up? Duggo hit me up with a 5-spot. I appreciate you, Duggo. And it looks like you got a new avatar. So that's cool. It took me forever on Rumble to get my avatar right. I somehow ended up with like 2 accounts or something. I'm not sure. But I finally got my picture on my avatar as well. So nice to see you over there, Doug. And OX_00, it's good now. So apparently I had some setting off on my microphone. We're getting all kinds of echo. Something else I can work on this weekend, figuring out what the heck that was. Anywho. Let's check out the comments over there on the YouTubes. We got all the fun emoji in the chat, the tiki masks and the fire and the excited smiley faces and coffee cups and thumbs up and all that good stuff. I appreciate it. Let's see. Y'all should get in the Discord if you're not already. That's where all the cool kids hang out. That's according to Apothecary John. I did want to mention that. You know, when we started the Discord, not a whole lot of people there, and I went a day or two without looking at it, and then I went and looked back, and I was like, oh my goodness, look at all, we got all these people, and they're all making great comments and everything. So that is a nice little thing that you could check out. Link is in the description over there, and you can go check out the Discord. Sirius Echo Tom, so I'm hoping that it's all fixed now. Let's see. The echo is for emphasis of the message. Cool. Not sure why I did that. Not sure what that was about, but I had a feeling you made music when I saw your little drum pad thingy. Well, this right here, this is a controller, and I use this controller, as you can see, with, you know, for graphics. I can move the graphics around. You know, that kind of stuff. But this controller is also, it is an Ableton live controller, which is for doing live audio. And so you can use this, all the fun buttons for that. So yeah, that's cool. I don't see a carrot or text channels, just hashtag livestream chat. Okay. They're talking about the Discord over there. Let's see. Worldwide? Not sure what that's in reference to. But Joe Rogan sometimes. Let's see. James was a mouthpiece. Yes, he certainly was. He certainly was kind of parroting the talking points that you would expect someone to parrot when they're on late night TV. So that was one thing that I did not care for him that much. I love Corden, but I missed Craig Ferguson. I liked Craig Ferguson. I thought he was a lot of fun. Craig Ferguson was an actor. Don't know that word. I think it's misspelled. Like CNN made Rogan look sick with Photoshop. They did. That was a really disgusting thing. I remember when they added like a yellow filter to Joe Rogan when he was talking about taking some different medications for when he was ill. And they applied a filter and made him look sick by using that filter. That was a disgusting thing that the media did. Let's see. They exercise their editorial discretion. Yes. Let me interpret for you what that information is. Exactly. We're living in Soviet Union circa 1988. Perhaps. I was actually in the Soviet Union in 1989. I went to Moscow, and this was before the curtain, or before the, the Berlin Wall came down. And yeah, it was one of those things that, the interesting thing over there is that everybody knew that the news was propaganda, right? They just knew that it was. It was not a shock. And that's the thing here that is surprising, is I don't think that most people know that. That most of the news that we get is propaganda. But we just don't seem to know that. Or most people aren't aware of it. And some is and some isn't, and you know what I mean. I think you mean 1953. Well, that's probably that. You can't handle the truth. The good news is there's good news. Dogs and cats know things, horses and pigs too. It is true that animals seem to have a sense of certain things, but we can't read their minds. But I think that that's really something, that the dog just wouldn't leave this lady alone. And she was acting really strange. And then kind of forced them to meet each other and to talk. And it turned out that that encounter saved her life. 1 out of 22 million chance of, finding a compatible kidney. And you found it at the beach. That's a crazy fun story. Trust me, bro. News source, trust me, bro. ABC News source, trust me, bro. I do get that. That's the feeling. Hey, here's what happened, and we're not going to show it to you, but just trust me. Just trust me, because ABC News has really built up their trust, haven't they? Oh, anyway, it is what it is. Yes, the message that I gave today was on just trying to make things good enough. I kind of feel like this show today was good enough. I know it wasn't great. I was just coming from, I taught 2 classes this morning. And so by the time I got here, just to set up and didn't rehearse much. But I was like, it's good enough. It's good enough. I'll keep working on it. And you keep working on it as well. Hope you all have a beautiful weekend. And hopefully we'll have some new additions coming up next week to the show. And I'm still looking out for that writer's strike. I'm keeping an eye on that. So we'll see what happens with that. But anyway, y'all have a beautiful weekend. Until Monday, peace.